and gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News. My name is Mean Marky T. Pile driving geeks since 1973. The biggest mark in the IWC. Last night was Dynamite. It's Thursday by my iPhone. Why are we in the news studio on a Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m.? Dana? Huh? Who approved this shit? Like last night wasn't a long work night, right? I have to get my shit in order here. We had NXT TakeOver. Now we got Dynamite. 2 live streams back to back here inside the venue. I didn't give a shit. I stayed up till 5 a.m. in the morning trying to get a fucking win in Warzone. Did it happen? Of course it did. Come on, man. But I don't know what you guys want me to go over here today. There's no news. Tony Khan desperately brought in Mike Tyson to Dynamite. All he wanted was TMZ clicks for AEW. The Young Bucks got more heel turns than fucking Big Show. Sting had another promo with Tony Schiavone that was utterly interrupted once again by Lance Archer, and it was National Beer Day. But there's no beer inside the venue because nobody's fucking here. God. At least the construction noise is up. You know what, folks? You know what? This is too early for me. I'm still half a fucking sleep. I got like a 48-ounce Dunkin' Donuts coffee that I haven't even taken a sip from yet. Oh. Jesus Christ, man. I wish it was back to last night so I could look at Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai. How you doing, honey? Huh? Oh, God. You know what? Let's get to the fucking live stream, man. This is your AEW Dynamite post show on a Thursday with your host, JD from New York, and his partner in crime, the bitch, Jesse.
It is Thursday, and we got a long day ahead of us. We are live, man. AEW Dynamite last night. Mike Tyson returns. For what? I don't know. Completely unnecessary. Sting interviewed by Tony Schiavone once again, only to be interrupted once again by Lance Archer. Darby Allin defends the TNT Championship against another JD. This time in JD Drake. The Young Bucks seemingly are on the chase for Big Show's How Many Times Can We Turn Heel award. And I've been predicting it for months now. Blood and Guts is finally happening. The Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle will happen on May 5th. and I can't wait. We got all your AEW news and rumors and the breakdown of last night's Dynamite. Get ready, folks. It's going to be a long day. This is your AEW Dynamite post show on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Dynamite post-show for April 7th, 2021. I am JD. I am joined by my very good friend, Jesse. What is going on, man?
What's up, brother? How you feel today, man?
I am half asleep. I don't believe I'm here.
Yeah, it was a long night.
Yeah, it was a long night. I had to, you and I watched TakeOver last night, and then I had to immediately watch Dynamite right after I finished the TakeOver live stream. And I watched the Fight TV version, so it wasn't even an abbreviated version with the commercials omitted. It was the Fight TV version with the commercials included, and all of the in-ring action during the commercials was included in the broadcast. Another 2 hours of wrestling, man. How fucking jealous is everybody? Huh? God, look at me.
It's that season, man.
I know. Listen, I'm glad everybody's here. We're going to have some fun today, early in the afternoon, talking Dynamite. And it was a good show last night. Obviously, I opted to cover TakeOver because I felt it was the more important show. And it was. There's no doubt about it. But Dynamite, when I caught up with Dynamite, it was a very newsworthy show. A very good show. I mean, there was nothing groundbreaking where I sat there and said, oh my God, AEW, Tony Khan brought Mike Tyson back, which I didn't really care about. I was actually against Tony Khan bringing Mike Tyson back last night. I felt like it was just done out of sheer desperation because he felt like NXT was going to completely overshadow them, AEW, on Wednesday night, and rightfully so. It's their biggest show of the year, so this is the last time he has to deal with this shit because NXT's moving to Tuesday. We got the Young Bucks turning heel again. I don't know whether they're babyface, heel, snarky pricks. I don't know what's going on with the Young Bucks, but they aligned themselves with Kenny Omega in the main event of Dynamite last night as they teamed up with Jon Moxley against the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega. And then we got the Inner Circle back. They look absolutely fantastic together. And Blood and Guts, Jesse, you and I have talked about it for weeks, was announced last night for May 5th. People are wondering why this is not happening at Double or Nothing. We will get into that. But what'd you think of last night's show? What'd you think of the vibe after watching TakeOver? Your thoughts?
I was digging it, man. I thought it was a good show. I hate watching shows back after they went live because then I'm trying to dodge spoilers and everything else.
Yeah.
And then I saw some like sprinkled comments here and there about, some things that people didn't like. I didn't really find anything on the show to dislike. I mean, the problem is everybody wants to sit around and compare this episode to the takeover that they at NXT had. And that's not what they were trying to compete against, per se. They didn't want to put on a better show than the takeover. That's not what they aimed to do. That's not what they tried to do. I see what you're saying. They did bring in Mike Tyson, but I don't know. It did seem like they just brought him in just because of TakeOver, and I only say that because he wasn't really there to do anything. You know, they could have had anybody do that run in like that. I mean, I don't know. So that did seem like a, you know, let's try to keep the ratings up a little bit as they're getting ready to dip for TakeOver, but it's not like they went, you know, try hard on the show. They just did what they would normally do.
Yeah, you know, the whole Mike Tyson thing, I just feel like it came off in bad taste. You know, Mike Tyson is obviously still a big name. He's not going to be a name that's going to directly affect the ratings. I get what Tony Khan's trying to do as far as reaching into a more casual audience, but this is not the way to go about it. I just felt with Mike Tyson being on AEW last time where he got into a scuffle with the Inner Circle when they were heel, only to bring him back legitimately out of nowhere. It seemed like it happened on Wednesday morning. Hey, Mike, what are you doing, bro? You doing anything on a Wednesday night? Come on to Jacksonville. Come into Daly's place. We got something for you. We want you to be a part of the show. He probably didn't even ask any fucking questions. They brought him in. And the last time we seen Tyson, he was scuffling with the Inner Circle. This time he's there to back up the Inner Circle because the Inner Circle was fucked over by MJF. So, yeah, you know, it really didn't make any sense. And it just was there because Tony Khan wanted everybody to pick up on what they were doing, and I felt like it was more of a, hey, look at us, we're over here live too, never mind those guys. Come on.
Yeah.
But if they just went on and put on a show from top to bottom that was really good in ring, progressing some storylines and really just ramping the show up for next week and getting ready for next week, I wouldn't have had any problem. But that one little thing, you know, Tony Khan likes to get ahead of himself. He just comes off as a guy that cannot just sit back and just let things happen. He's got to go out there and do this, and make sure he's front and center. You know, I don't like that.
Something else that I try to keep in mind now, especially after the comments we had by, you know, Tony Khan and Jared. It seemed like a lot of things that I don't know about a lot, but it's become clear and apparent that some things that we do see on Dynamite are the pitches of the network. And while AEW is in a position to do what they want, at the same time, they're not in a position to just say, you know, buck the network and, you know, we're going to do what we want to do. So if TNT asks something of them within reason, they're going to bend over backwards to do it. And it's very well possible that TNT asks for a big celebrity on the show tonight because they know about TakeOver and everything else. I mean, they have been hands-on as far as the content that's being portrayed on TV.
Yeah. You know, I could see that being a reason, but, you know, obviously we as fans don't know that. We just gauge on what's happening on the surface, and that's the way it just came off to me. But you may be sitting there with a point, so we'll see how it happens. This is not a one-off for Tyson. He's on next week's show as well because they're actually filming next week's show today inside Daly's place in Jacksonville. So next week's show will be taped, and Tyson will obviously be a part of next week's show as well. It was already announced. So we will dive into all of that. Plus, I got news and rumors on where Ivelisse has been. I know a lot of people have asked where Ivelisse was and where is she as far as the growth of the women's division. I got news on that, and I'm very curious to see what Jesse thinks about this when I get into that part of the show. But I want to thank everybody for joining us here today, this afternoon. I know it's early. I know we don't have our usual audience. I will be live once again tonight with the usual off-the-script audience for night 2 of TakeOver. It is the more important night of NXT's week. We got a great main event with Karrion Kross and Finn Balor, co-main event with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, and the one match I'm looking forward to is Santos Escobar versus Jordan Devlin in a ladder match for the Cruiserweight Championship. So it is going to be a very, very busy day, and I thank you guys for joining us. Super Chat is open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show like we usually do. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. If you guys want to follow Jesse, his Twitter handle is right there on the screen as well. If you want to support the podcast, several ways to do that. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. You guys can go get some t-shirts at bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Off the Script. Mouthmasker.com. Go get your masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. If you guys want to go check out the TakeOver review from last night, very good show. Thank you to all that showed up. And anything else on the channel, links will be down in the description below. hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for all notifications. And today's show is sponsored by not one, but two of my great sponsors. Number one, BlueChew.com. Use code JD at checkout for your free sample. And also Dr. Squatch, drsquatch.com. You guys are going to use code SCRIPT at checkout to save 20% off. Hooligrim in the chat, my mod for today. What's up to Rusty as well? He's in the chat, the 414. Haven't seen him here in forever, so we're rocking and rolling here. Hooligrim spent over $100 on Dr. Squatch yesterday, and he saved $24 off of his purchase. Unbelievable stuff, man. Go and get it. drsquatch.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. Jesse, I want to start at the top with the beginning of Dynamite. We got Adam Hangman Page and Max Caster. He was with Anthony Bowens last night. Bowens has been out with a knee injury. I'm looking forward to the Acclaimed getting back to tag team action. I do not really find any investment in Max Caster as a solo because they are obviously more valuable as a tag team. Hangman Page defeated Max Caster in what I thought was a decent little matchup here. They're really boasting about Max Caster moving up the ranks in the AEW standings. Adam Page, it was mentioned, and this will obviously play into things a little later on in the year. They did mention that Adam Page is number one in the rankings for 2 weeks in a row. So that is clearly where they're going with that, and I hope that that continues for Adam Page because Page looks like the only contender right now legitimately for Kenny Omega that's not named Jon Moxley on this roster. So what do you think about that? Is that something that you think is going to come into play as well, that they mentioned he's been number one for 2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, I'm kind of conflicted on that, though. Because as they talk about him, being up there to that level at the same time, he's still playing footsie with the Dark Order.
Yeah.
I mean, every week on BT, for all intents and purposes, he's in the Dark Order at this point. He's just in the dark. He kind of joined kind of the same way that Colt Cabana did. He's just there at this point. They're not even trying to recruit him anymore. He's just always there.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of weird now. I don't know what they're trying to, the record, this is a really good example where the record might not reflect what the record says. I don't care what the record says. All I see is how he's being used. And it's kind of hard to get a gauge on where they're trying to position him in the company right now, to be honest.
Yeah, and that is being felt all over the roster. I feel like a lot of guys are feeling like Adam Page. He's on TV, but he's not really in anything. Yeah. A lot of these guys are on TV, but they're not really in anything. It's either they're in a faction on TV, or they're not in anything at all, and they're just working Elevation or Dark. And that's the kind of vibe that I've been getting from Dynamite, and it really doesn't feel good. I just wish there was better direction for guys like this. These are the types of guys that they should be pushing weekly on television.
It should be. Hangman is one of those guys though, where you can always insert him somewhere and it'll feel important.
Yeah.
Almost despite where he is on the card, if you give him a little bit of a bill, a week or so, he can make it feel kind of important. But I don't want them to rest on that because he is kind of losing his luster. Despite where they say his record and where he stands in the rankings, I don't get this Dark Order thing. He can be in it and be fine. But he has to be in it and be a leader and elevate it because right now they are bringing him down.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. Totally agree on that. It was National Beer Day. They did mention it was National Beer Day. I did not drink any cold beverages last night because if I did, I'd be asleep during the live stream last night. So clearly that's not going to happen. And the same thing, I probably won't be drinking anything all week because if I do, then I'll be off my game. I got to be number one for you guys all week long. Page attacked Bowens before the bell. I just mentioned that Bowens has been out with a knee injury, so he took a massive big boot from Page, so it looks like he's getting ready to be back in action soon. I hope that's what that means. He dominated early, did Page, landing fallaway slam and a big boot. They brawled on the floor, and Page was yelling at Bowens on the outside, who was in Max Caster's corner. Caster was taking control of the match because of this slight interference. Page came back with a springboard lariat, plunged to the floor. He dropped Caster over the barricade, hit a jumping lariat. Caster countered, followed up, and sold an injury as Bowens attacked Page on the floor, leading to the beatdown of Page for a little bit. Spinebuster and an exploder suplex from Page. That was part of his comeback in this match. They exchanged some shots on the apron where Page dropped Caster onto the ring apron. Page hopped up on the top rope and he went for his big moonsault, but Bowens distracted him. Caster tried to pop up and hit a superplex, but he stumbled, went back for it again a second time, and he hit it, but that was an awkward spot for him, so he must have felt a little shitty after that. Caster tried to follow up with a springboard, but was met with a lariat by Page. Page went for the Deadeye, but Bowens tossed the boombox into the ring, distracting the official while he slipped Caster a chain. Caster down Page with the chain-assisted right hand. I thought, Jesse, that this was it. I thought they were going to put Caster over Page, so that was a very good near fall there, but Page kicked out. He tried to follow up with his mic drop, elbow drop, but Page rolled out of the way. Bowens tried to stop the buckshot lariat, but that was to no avail, and he hit the lariat on Max Caster anyway for the win, and Adam Page gets a big victory here on Dynamite on National Beer Day. So obviously the right outcome, and we can only hope that Page is moving on to a little bit more of a prominent role on this show.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, I'm with you. I don't know about you. I don't know about not liking Max Caster though, man. I've been actually digging him as a singles, to be honest with you. I mean, look.
Yeah, but the thing is, I get what you're saying, but where does that leave Bowens?
I get it, but I mean, I was getting ready to say, let's put our cards on the fucking table, man. I mean, who's the money in that group?
Oh, and Max Caster, obviously.
I mean, and Bowens has come back, and he's been with Caster as a just as a valet to the ring and everything else. He's probably still partially injured or something like that, but I am not missing Bowens as far as missing the team. I mean, it would suck to just, force the team back and exit, Caster's singles career just because Bowens could slip through the cracks. Caster getting over could mean Bowens getting over as well. That doesn't mean they have to abandon the tag team per se, but I wouldn't want to sleep on his singles career because he's been doing very well as a singles. I mean, it's usually when one partner goes down, usually it kind of looks like God, I need his partner back. Here, I'm kind of like I'm kind of liking this. I get it. I mean, even when they do their intro, I mean, I'm interested to see how Caster comes out, and at the end of it, Bowen just comes out and just says the same thing, screams it, and then that's it. It's over. I don't want to say he's useless because they are good as a team, but it looks like Caster does have a singles career ahead of him.
Oh no, he obviously does. He just has the makeup of a single more so than Anthony Bowens. My thing is, it may be a WWE fear because they've instilled so much fear in us when they take a tag team and they break them up. And that's what I get. It's like a phobia when I see a prominent tag team, a really talented tag team being split up, or one of them goes on to do more singles than the actual tag team work that we're supposed to get. But I feel like they haven't even walked into the coffee shop to even order a cup of coffee yet. Yeah. Never mind Max Caster having a singles run. So that's my point. I get what you're saying, and I completely agree with you, but I would rather them have some success as a tag team because they're so fucking young, have some success as a tag team, and then obviously we're getting a glimpse at what a young Max Caster could do. Imagine 5 years from now. Yeah,
no, that's true. And I agree with that. They have a lot to do as a tag team, a lot, before they can start diving deeper into a singles career for Caster. And I do want to see that first, but man, it kind of sucks to have to, force them back together just because Bowens will have no direction. And that's exactly what will happen. He will have no direction without Caster.
No, none at all.
At this point, if I were them, if I were AEW, and if I were the Acclaim, I would spend these next few months building Bowens up to the level that Caster is at, getting those mic skills up, having them be a larger part of the team and their antics and everything else, just to try to get him over so they can make room for a split down the road.
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. So it's going to be very interesting to see where they go and the dynamic of both. But I'm in favor of a tag team, but we will see what happens. We're getting a nice glimpse as to what Max Caster could do as a single. Shivani was in the ring. He's all over the place every single week. Shivani stood in the ring, and we were about to have a interview with the Death Triangle, Ray Phoenix, Pentagon, and Pac. Now, before I mention what happened in this promo, a lot of people were on social media last night or yesterday afternoon, and I seen someone post something in the NXT live stream chat about Andrade. And Jesse and I have been talking about Andrade for the last couple of weeks. Obviously, he's a free agent now. He's got no 90-day non-compete from WWE. They let him go. I feel like he would fit perfectly with Pentagon and Phoenix. Maybe bring Zelina Vega in when the time is right, pair them all together, move Pac onto a single by himself. I just feel like he's better by himself. But Andrade was on Twitter last night, Jesse. I don't know if you've seen this. I don't know if he's trolling everybody or if he's just, trying to conceal the truth. But he posted a Jaguar emoji and a fist emoji. And that's all he posted. Getting people talking about him showing up in AEW. Did you see that at all?
I did. And as of late, or I won't say as of late, as of at all, Andrade has not been in the habit of trolling people on Twitter.
No.
He has not been. He is not John Cena. He is not Kurt Angle. He is not in the business of trolling people. And I'm going to be honest. He's been saying a lot of stuff over the last, week or two. And I believe all of it. I believe everything he has said. He is completely frustrated. He has no reason to lie on the company, and the stuff that he says is not far-fetched. So what reason do I have to not believe this man who has been sitting around in the back being wasted, and he knows his talents can be used at a main event level somewhere else?
Yeah,
he's not lying.
No, I mean, and you know what? I don't even think he's lying about this emoji shit either. I think he genuinely is going to AEW, and the reason why I think he's going to AEW, Jesse, is he may want to go to Japan. I think he may get a similar deal in AEW to go wrestle in New Japan when he wants to, when they need him. But right now, I don't see him leaving Orlando or leaving his soon-to-be wife's side. I don't see that from him.
No, and that's another reason why I believe everything he's saying. The fact that he's talking is amazing, which means he just left on really, really bad terms. But at the same time, I can't see him going out there and lying on the company that his fiance is not only currently working at, but is at the very top of the card.
Yeah.
At the very top of their priority list is Charlotte Flair. He's not going to go out there and say anything that is not true. He may say some things that they would not want him to say, but they can't claim that it's a lie. You don't want people saying the truth, and don't treat them like that. But I don't think this guy is lying about anything.
No, I don't think he's lying about anything either. So that was very interesting. So sooner rather than later, we may see Andrade in AEW. They got Double or Nothing coming up. That would be the perfect time to debut somebody like that and get everybody talking about him once again. But we got Shivani talking to the Death Triangle. They won the Casino Battle Royale, so they got a shot at the AEW Tag Team titles next week. Orange Cassidy, Chuck Taylor, and Trent walked out, and they interrupted the Death Triangle. Couple of things here, Jesse. How are you feeling about the best friends shtick? Are you getting tired of it? And Chris Statlander walked out with all of these guys. What do you think about them after her return last week, having her remain in the best friends camp? Are you a fan of that, or would you rather her just be on her own like me?
She needs to be on her own. Her absence, she was getting better in the ring. She was already one of the best in the ring, especially as far as the talent that was getting better. She was getting better along the lines, probably even faster than Britt Baker was.
Yeah.
I mean, she was really, really, really impressive. Then she went down with an injury. Sucks, but it happens. So her absence in the midst of the women's division just not getting there made her that much more valuable. I mean, it was anticipated for her return and everything else. She was in a position to be catapulted to the top of the women's division as far as the title picture goes. But putting her with the best friends and Cassie and everything else, it just seems like she was immediately relegated to the mid card.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just seems like a waste. It seems like you had all the pieces in order. Well, not all of them, but the pieces are coming together, and she could be a major piece. It's not to say that she can't be right now, but I don't know if you noticed the last feud with the best friends, but it didn't really elevate Miro to the top of the card, and I don't think Statlander being with the best friends is gonna do.
I don't think it elevated anybody, dude. Everybody in that feud is, I think, they're worse for it. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I completely agree with you. I think she's better on her own, but this is what AEW Creative feels is best for Chris Statlander. So we'll see what happens with that. So they all came out, and Cassidy, in his very dry, monotone demeanor, said it's great to see the three of them together again. And we seen a bunch of clips on the big screen from March and May of last year with the Death Triangle attacking Orange Cassidy. Chuck said it might have been a while, but they still remember what they did to them. Ray and Penta were laughing. Pac said it appears that they want a shot at the next AEW Tag Team Champions. Well, believe me, boys, you've got a lot of work to do, but you're far from worthy, so get off our stage. So Trent took the microphone and said he knows he was out of action for a while and hurt, and knows that they have to get in the back of the line. But he said they're only there to give them a heads up as to what's coming. The boys are back in town, said Trent, and then outwalked Chris Statlander briefly with them at the end of this promo. So obviously this is playing up some intrigue for the tag team title situation. We got the Death Triangle, or at least some of the members of the Death Triangle, going up against the Young Bucks next week for the tag team championships. We'll talk about that a little bit more extensively when we get into the main event segment, because it looks like we could have another team involved, Jesse, with the tag team championship situation, and that is Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston after what happened in the main event. So we got a nice little brouhaha here going on with the tag team titles.
I guess. I mean,
none of it is overly interesting, but I want, you know what I want? I want Penta, Ray Phoenix, and Pac to just fucking outshine everybody, get what they deserve. That's what I feel.
I'll tell you what I want, to be honest. I want Pac to go somewhere and be on his own like he should be.
Yeah.
And I want Andrade to come in and join the Lucha Brothers.
Yep. And win the trios.
And win the trios. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
That's the best for business. That's the best thing that they could possibly do with everybody involved.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting, guys, with the tag team title situation.
With fear.
Yes. Absolutely.
For the whole group. At the Trinidad, at Andrade, and my God, dude. The best, I mean, I'm talking the best faction in all of wrestling that could be.
Yeah. Listen, we could be looking at one of the best tag team matches of the entire year next week with the tag team title match that we're getting. So, what is it, Pac and Ray Phoenix versus the Young Bucks? I mean, sign me up.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Very true. I can see that.
The Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. This was the Inner Circle back on Dynamite having an intervention of sorts. I knew what happened while watching TakeOver because obviously there were still people watching both shows, which I just never understood from the very beginning. I don't know how you watch both shows at the same time. So I'm scrolling on Twitter and I'm tweeting about NXT and I see clips from Jericho's promo and I see the news break about blood and guts. And then obviously, before I even watched Dynamite, AEW posted this entire promo segment on their YouTube channel. So I watched this because everybody was like, Chris Jericho's back. Chris Jericho cut one of the best promos he's cut in years. And I got to admit, I got to agree with everybody. This was a fantastic promo, even though Jericho kind of slightly botched on what he said about Wardlow. I think he said Wardlow has like a 13-cent body. I mean, if Wardlow's going out there and buying that type of body for 13 cents, bro, please give me about 6 of them. Really. But this was a great promo. Fantastic segment. I love the intensity by Jericho. And man, did the Inner Circle, Jesse, they looked refreshed being back. They looked great. They were all synchronized in what they were wearing. They looked like a legit badass faction ready to fucking kick some ass. And not only with Jericho cutting a great promo, he's obviously got that Stone Cold podcast this coming weekend. So he's going to be in the mouth and eyes of everybody this weekend, which even makes him more of a genius. But Santana and Ortiz, they've been teasing that they're going to, if you guys watch the CNC, Santana said in front of me and Hodge, when we are back, there's going to be bloodshed. And I just feel like everything that's happening here, bro, the blood and guts situation is going to really elevate the Proud and Powerful guys. This was awesome. We're going to go over what he said here, but what did you think of this promo?
I liked the promo overall. I did. I just thought it was a little bit too much. Hey, look at us, we're baby faces now. I think it just seems like he just got a little bit away from what he would normally be like. It would, my thing, and maybe it's just me and a personal thing. I want my baby faces and heels to pretty much act the same damn way, whether they're baby face or heel. I mean, just make the minor adjustments you need to make. But if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. Chris Jericho's a known asshole. Why wasn't he being an asshole at all? I'm sure it's a minor thing because it looks like the premise was for the day was to come out and just to make it abundantly clear that Inner Circles were now baby faces. And then challenge these guys to blood and guts. They just seemed the overall feel of the promo was just that it. That was just it. We're baby faces and we're challenging to blood and guts. But it just seemed like it could have been a little bit more of an organic type deal as opposed to, okay, now we're good guys.
How much of that? How much of that is excitement coming from Jericho because he's played a heel for so long?
Well, he was the promo. I mean, he did the whole thing. I mean, so as far as I'm concerned, the rest of the Inner Circle were just standing there being who they are.
Yep.
Jericho's the one that just seems to be now all of a sudden pandering a little bit, and now he's smiling more. I mean, no insults at all except to the people he's facing. But you're a dick, dude. Be a dick. It's just what it is, and the crowd would deem you as a baby face just because who you're Look, you're facing MJF, dude. You're by default the baby face. You don't have to try hard to be a good guy in this.
Yeah,
you really don't. You really don't. Just be yourself. I mean, you can play the good. You can play the hot tag. You can play the get beat down and try to come up. You can do all of that and then still be a baby face. Perfect example, Jon Moxley. Do you see much of a difference from what Jon Moxley does as a face as to what he would do as a heel?
No,
not at all. It's just if you're on his bad side, you're on his bad side. You get treated the exact same fucking way, and it just kind of felt like they would try. And Jericho doesn't have to try hard to be a baby face. The guy is cheered and it's over. I mean, regardless. So just be. And I get it. I mean, he have to build the feud between these guys in the Pinnacle. So, I do like it overall as far as the way they're going. I don't know why they're putting this on TV either, to be honest.
Yeah, that we'll get to. Let me break down this promo here from Jericho. We are the Inner Circle, he says, to start it off. We've come back in black. They were all dressed in black. They look great. Jericho said the beatdown that MJF and the rest of the Pinnacle gave them was a wake-up call. He said it helped them realize that they made a lot of decisions in the last 6 months that hurt a lot of people and insulted a lot of people. So that right there, Jesse, goes to show you that what you said, he's obviously deviating away from that. He realized that, we made a lot of decisions and we hurt a lot of people and insulted a lot of people. So maybe Jericho for a little bit wanted to be the good guy here. He may end up reverting back to what you just mentioned. And I do agree with you. He doesn't have to try so hard. He should be prick like Chris Jericho and people are still going to cheer him, especially in this situation with MJF. But he pretty much admitted it there.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I mean. You coming out and you're apologizing for shit that you did. No. Why in the fuck would you did it, you meant it, you did it. And that's just that.
Yeah.
But now going forward, we're gonna look to be doing things differently. That alone right there. We did this back in here and we meant it and everything else. Going forward, we're gonna do things a little bit differently. We're gonna change things up because it seems like we have to just deal with these jerks over here and everything. And you don't go back and say, sorry, we were bad guys, but we're gonna be good guys this time. Like, come on, dude. Come on. I mean, this is not Raw. You don't have to cater to the casuals who might hear that promo and think, oh, okay, maybe he is. No, we get it. You were healed. Now you're babyface. Don't have to come out and just hold up a sign that says, I'm a heel now or I'm a babyface.
It almost reminds me of MJF. Remember when he was aligned with Cody before they actually split up and they had that match and MJF was trying so hard to be a babyface and not be MJF? It's not the same because that was a little bit more severe. But, I mean, why would you ever change somebody that is just naturally a dick?
Yeah. Yeah, and think about that. When MJF was as close to a babyface as he can be, he was still an asshole.
Yeah.
He was still an asshole.
He was at conventions telling people, listen, you're in a wheelchair. I'm going to do something that you can't do. He gets up and he takes a photo with the guy in the wheelchair at one of the conventions. I laughing my ass off. It's just, he's always a dick. So I get your point, yes. But Jericho, he admitted that they did fuck up and they hurt a lot of people and insulted a lot of people. He apologized and he included everybody in Daly's place there. last night. He said those decisions were caused by MJF, and then he calls MJF my jerk-off friend. He said MJF is right. He's not that smart at certain things, such as high school chemistry. He said the teacher asked him if he was on dope. I wasn't. I just wasn't very smart at chemistry. He says he's a smart guy at pro wrestling and the psychology of pro wrestling. He said he didn't bring MJF into the Inner Circle to put him under his wing, but rather keep him under his thumb. He said he knows how dangerous his jerk-off friend is. He said he wanted to use him as much as he could and suck his potential out of him and into the Inner Circle. Jericho then transitioned and said he had it perfectly planned, but they didn't count on MJF being one step ahead of them. He said they were outsmarted by a man who can do everything except apparently put on a spray tan. He said a few weeks ago, he was oranger than Cassidy with more streaks than the bottom of the toilet bowl he shoved his face into last week. And then they go on to say, or Jericho does rather, MJF is only 25 years old. He was still having wet dreams at that age where MJF is at the pinnacle of the wrestling business. Jericho said MJF says he's going to age like fine wine, but he wants to be better than him, the GOAT, right now. He said those are big shoes to fill, and you should take baby steps. He said he should be better than Peter Avalon instead of Michael Nakazawa, or Michael Nakazawa. He said his scarf is tired and old, and it sucks. Jericho says he was wearing scarves 5 years ago. It's lame, and he pretty much told MJF to stop stealing his shit. He says he has an old clipboard in the back with a list of gimmicks he stole from him. You want to steal the clipboard, you could go back there and steal that too. He said Max isn't as good as he thinks. He said he listens to the critics and the fans. He said MJF is the type of guy that rushes to the back when his match is over to go on social media to see what people are saying about him. We call that in the wrestling business a mark. You would never hear that word on WWE television. We're going to change that to being a max because you're a max for yourself. How over is that going to be, Jesse, when people start calling, people marks? Is that going to transition now because Jericho said, now we're going to change the name of Mark to Max? Are people start going to using that term?
Nah, Mark has his longevity. It's going to stay.
We're going to change that to being a max because you're a max for yourself. He said he'll never, ever be better than him, and you know it. And he says that's causing the wine to sour. Then he talks about Tully Blanchard. MJF called Tully Blanchard one of the greatest minds in pro wrestling. He said he's nothing more than a third-string member of the Four Horsemen, ranking somewhere between Ole Anderson and Paul Roma. He said FTR are one of the greatest tag teams in the world today, but they're completely interchangeable. He said they're like the Jonas Brothers. He said they make money, but I don't even know their fucking names. He said regarding Sean Spears, people say he's got a big upside, but he's never seen it. So all he knows is his phone number from when he called him after he was fired by the Fed looking for advice. So aligning Spears or with Spears is about as good of a decision as rocking a blonde mohawk in 2021. He said as for Wardlow, he's so stupid he has to strip naked to count to 21. Said the Pinnacle is good, but that's because they like to fight. And then he said they're going to shove their faces, all the faces of the Pinnacle, up each other's asses to form a human centipede with MJF in the back. You want blood? You want violence? You got it. And then Jericho announced on May 5th, it will be the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle in a blood and guts match. Said they are the Inner Circle and they're back in black and they're going to beat the living shit out of the Pinnacle. The worst is yet to come and God help you all for it. This was a great promo. I do get what you're saying, Jesse. As it regards to blood and guts, May 5th, Dynamite, Daly's Place. I'm not with it. I'm with it for the match. I'm just not with it for the location because I have this fear that Tony Khan is going to change the entire original concept of what it was supposed to be in Rochester, New York, before the pandemic, and they're going to change it to fit the mold of Daly's Place. I don't know if it's going to be a steel cage match or if it's just going to be a 5-on-5, just bloodbath, all-out street fight. What do you think is going to happen here? Do they keep with the original plans of it being their War Games type match?
No, I don't feel any change coming. Why do you think they're going to change it?
I don't know.
Why do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't really look at Daly's Place as the ground for blood and guts. I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that after the last gimmick match botch, that they're going to take this one overly serious.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I didn't have a negative thought about blood and guts at all. Like thinking that something might not be right. The thing about it is we don't have a vision of blood and guts.
No.
You don't have one. They're giving us one now. So, I mean, there's nothing for it to live up to at this point. They never told us that it's going to be like War Games. We're just assuming it.
Yeah, that's what all the dirt sheets were saying. Yeah, it was going to be their version of War Games. So we're going based off the reports that we've seen on the websites. Yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, with a name like Blood and Guts, I mean, you already have shit to live up to right there alone. So, I mean, we might not see any guts, but we better see some damn blood. So
I'm sure we will.
And that alone is going to make it a pretty big match. I'm not looking forward to having commercials during it. You know, maybe we get a commercial-free version. Maybe. Outside of the commercial breaks and the time, I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it, you know. But I'm not. There's no way I'm gonna enjoy it more than I would have at a pay-per-view. But at the same time, you know, I get it. They wanna pop ratings. I mean, this is their chance to now pop ratings as it pertains to not having to deal with NXT.
Oh, this is going to be 1 million plus, dude. I'm guaranteeing it right now.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, maybe TNT is looking at them like, okay, now you have no competition, so let's move it up. Let's do this. So this could be, I'm going to think about it that way. This could be something that they want to build up to. They want to build to and build it to a TV show to pop the ratings. They need to get those ratings up now that they have no direct competition anymore.
Do you feel like this is happening too soon? Because I feel like we could have gotten a one-on-one match with Jericho and MJF out of it. We could have gotten a tag team match with Proud and Powerful versus FTR. We could have got a match out of Sammy Guevara and Shawn Spears. Maybe have some one-on-one contests first and foremost before we get to the big blow-off and the blood and guts. Do you think that this is happening way too soon? And should it have been a little bit more patience on AEW's part?
Well, isn't that the WWE booking that we don't like? You know, once we have a match scheduled, now that tag team has to face off in individual matches, and now we have to see one lose and then one win, and look, it's
a month away. We still could get all that stuff.
Yeah, we still have time to get a lot of that stuff in. And so I think the only thing we're not gonna get is MJF versus Jericho.
Yeah,
and so that should be saved for a pay-per-view. But I don't know if I want to do now we're going to get this tag. Now we're going to get Wardlow versus, that is kind of WWE-ish booking. So, I mean, if they do something different, I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. But like you said, we still have some time before that match, so we still could get some of that shit.
And you're still in the mindset of obviously Pinnacle winning this and then the Inner Circle kind of dispersing for a little bit. Santana and Ortiz will have this match turn them into the cold-blooded killers that we know that they are. Jericho maybe goes away, records some Fozzy, goes on tour, comes back when he wants to. This is going to be more so for the Pinnacle to be over and then be the number one faction in AEW, correct?
Yeah, this ends no other way than Pinnacle winning.
Yeah.
This ends no other way. This feud can be awesome. This build could be awesome, and the match could be great. But if Inner Circle wins, this was a complete failure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
100% failure. So this should be the most predictable match ever. I mean, you can't start a new faction the way you did and everything else and then lose your first match. You can't do that.
Well, I'm hoping that it's their version of War Games. I think War Games is fucking awesome. I think it fits perfectly with these two factions here. Obviously, you got the mind of Cody Rhodes and his father who invented the War Games match. And then you got Tully Blanchard there, another, incredible mind. He knows what's going on. I think AEW could really make it their own. And I obviously think, being on TNT, this is the type of content that you want to really put out there to get that casual lapsed fan who doesn't watch anymore, who remembers this type of thing. And I think seeing this on TNT is going to work to their advantage. Instead of putting it on Double or Nothing, I do get the fact that it is a Double or Nothing main event type match, but to do it on something like a weekly television show, not only does it really bring that audience in that may not watch on a weekly basis, it makes Dynamite feel like a can't-miss show. So I can't really shit on the fact that they're putting it on Dynamite. I get your point, but I feel like, and I always say this with Raw and SmackDown, WWE does nothing to make those shows feel important, whereas Dynamite always makes, or AEW rather, always makes Dynamite feel important.
Yeah, I can see that. And they do. They put no effort into their weekly shows. They do no build to their weekly shows. and nobody really has any investment into the weekly shows. And now we have a big feud, a big match, being promoted, to a weekly show for AEW, and it does make more sense. It feels like the more show. The thing is, and that's another thing too. WWE doesn't care about the weekly shows because they have monthly fucking pay-per-views.
Yeah.
That's the thing. AEW does not have a monthly pay-per-view. So building to shows like this is going to be the norm, which to me makes much more sense. So for that reason, all right, then yeah, I can see Blood and Guts being on TV.
Well, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait. We got literally less than a month before this Blood and Guts match. Hopefully it's everything that we envisioned before the pandemic hit. I made a mistake. I said Rochester, Newark, New Jersey was the original home of Blood and Guts. So hopefully we do get what was advertised over a year ago in Newark, New Jersey. Dasha Gonzalez interviewed Christian Cage backstage. She asked how he is feeling after his debut match for AEW last week and asked what is next for Christian Cage. Christian said last week felt like a culmination of an entire year of him scratching, clawing, and grinding in solitude for that moment. Said he took back what was taken from him 7 years ago. He said Kazarian pushed him into the deep end and his lungs were on fire, but he loved every second of it. Said Frankie knows he's not like everyone because when you wrestle him, he makes his opponents level up. Taz all of a sudden barged into the promo, interrupted Christian. He said he and Christian know each other well. They've toured and shared locker rooms all over the world together. He said his guys can help him get where he wants to be and his guys can learn from him as well. He told him to sleep on the offer to join Team Taz and he doesn't want him to be put on the spot. Obviously, we know Christian is not going to join Team Taz, Jesse, but it looks like Christian may start running through some of Team Taz, or it looks like that's the direction that they're going in before they give Christian a big match with Kenny Omega that was already teased. So they got to ease him in somehow, but, I look at Christian Cage. I do think he has some value to AEW, but at the end of the day, man, every time I look at Christian, I just look back at his overly botched, terrible introduction at Revolution, and it's going to haunt him and his portrayal for his entire duration in AEW. Is there any buyer's remorse, do you think, on Christian Cage being in AEW? What does he bring to Dynamite that wasn't already there?
Right now, nothing. And the problem is, okay, if he's going to feud with Team Taz, okay, great. He's not going to be losing soon.
No.
So he's getting ready to just barrel right through Team Taz. Anybody that he faces in Team Taz is going to win. And if Christian loses, now this whole comeback thing looks even worse than it already does. So either way, this feud with Team Taz is not going to end well. Who's he going to beat? Unless he just beats Taz. If he beats Taz and moves on, okay, I can deal with that. But I don't think Taz is not cleared to compete.
No, Taz is not clear to compete. I could see Christian going up against Starks. I can see Christian going up against Cage. Does he beat Cage?
It's lost. Cage's gonna beat Cage. If he goes up against Cage, it's gonna beat Cage. Christian is not gonna take a loss because of all of the fanfare and the hype that came with his introduction and everything. And then he came out challenging Kenny Omega. How are you gonna challenge Kenny Omega and you barely beat Frankie Kazarian?
I don't know. I have no idea, man. It just seems all off to me. It really does.
It does not seem right. I don't know who he feuds with right now to get himself over and not bury someone who needs to be being built up, So, I mean, unless he faces Sting, he need to face somebody with some credibility who can afford to take an L.
Yeah.
And whoever that is not going to come out of there looking good.
Listen, the one thing I did like about this promo was the fact that he credited Kazarian for, making his lungs burn. He said, and he enjoyed every minute of it. He pretty much admitted that he's working his way back. So I don't really get the outwork everyone yet. Yeah. It's something that you really shouldn't have introduced to the audience, and then you go and admit that Kazarian made your lungs feel on fire, and he threw you into the deep end, but you want to outwork everyone. It seems like Kazarian outworked you.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So after his first match, he already has an uphill battle as far as getting into a position to outwork anyone. Now, facing anybody on Team Taz, He's not going to outwork anybody, and I don't think he can outwork Hook at this point. He was so blown up after the first 5 minutes of his Kazarian match, dude. I don't think he can go toe to toe with anybody in Team Taz and not look like a complete schmo for just getting blown up again.
Yeah, I don't know where they go with this, man. It's this is not like the Sting Darby situation. They had an easy out with that cinematic match because that could have been anybody's ball game. But like you said, putting Christian up against any one of these guys, I don't want to see Christian beat any one of those guys, Brian Cage or Ricky Starks. And it seems like Team Taz is almost like the AEW proverbial punching bag for everybody that's coming on in here. Yeah, we'll just put them with Team Taz and get the introductory out of the way, and then we'll move them on to something else.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, one possibility it could be, because it looks like they're trying to break up Team Taz. I don't know.
Yep.
But what if they split Brian Cage off to team with Christian to take on Team Taz? That's a match that Christian can win.
And who do they work against? They work against Hook and Ricky Starks? Or no, Will Hobbs. Will Hobbs.
No, Will Hobbs.
Yeah, okay.
Hobbs and Ricky Starks.
Okay,
Yeah.
I could see that.
And so, and that's how they can get him a win and not just be like, well, he just burying these two. No, because Brian Cage also got a win and he got built up. So that would be an instance where he had a good match with the younger guys, got a win, and someone else got over it, if it's Brian Cage. So that, okay.
Yeah, but then, man, then we're going to the situation where we have someone like Ricky Starks, who's young, up and coming, has a ton of potential, and then we're going to be discussing the fucking age-old question: why are these legends coming in and not putting over the younger talent? Is that something that you want to see?
That's already the question we had the second he came in. But as long as Brian Cage is getting a win here, then it's okay. I mean, if Brian Cage is also one of those up and comers who needs to win. So if Starks goes down for Brian Cage to come up, I'm okay with that. But Starks shouldn't be going down for Christian to come up.
Yeah.
So do the tag match. Cage gets the win, gets the pin and the win. If not, then he does most of the heavy lifting, something. But Cage should come out looking like the fucking rock star of the match and the savior. And Christian just should be there just to pull his own weight. And that's if they go that direction. There'll be no way they'll be teasing a Cage breakup if he wasn't going to be leaving. So he leaves. He's not going to leave without dealing with Team Taz. And right now, Christian is probably going to deal with him. So that's probably what we're looking at. Probably Christian and Brian Cage versus Hobbs and Starks.
Yeah, absolutely. Quick mention here, guys in the chat, if you mention any other fucking podcasters in the community, I'm personally benching you myself. Cut the shit out and stop trying to rile everybody up, okay? Get the fuck out of my chat if that's what your plan is to do here. I don't have any patience today because I got a lot of work to do and you're fucking lucky I'm even here with Jesse, okay? Cut the shit. Moving on. Jurassic Express versus Bear Country, Bear Bronson, and Bear Boulder. Now, I don't know. I don't really understand why they need Bear in front of their name. I don't know why they just don't call them Bronson and Boulder. It sounds a lot cooler just with the singular name. They are Bear Country. But this was a match I was looking forward to because I want to see more of Bear Country. They got a great makeup. They got a great little thing that they got going on here. And outside of one botch by, I believe it was Boulder in this match where Luchasaurus came off the top rope and this fucking guy wanted to catch Luchasaurus while he was already holding Jungle Boy, which I don't even know why this spot got past producers. It just looked ridiculous. But this was a good match, Jesse. I'm very interested to see where they go with Bear Country. Jurassic Express seems to be, there, but not there at the same time. They still lost a lot of steam. It seems difficult for them to try and really regain that momentum that they had. This was a nice start and a good showcase for Bear Country. What'd you think of the mixing of styles here in this match?
This match was total fucking garbage. You lost your mind. When did you watch this? Last night, half asleep?
Yeah.
Dude, even JR at the end of it said it was fucking quote unquote bowling shoe ugly. That match was fucking garbage. There were botches all over the fucking, nothing looked fluid. They didn't flow well together at all. It was total fucking, this was the worst looking I've seen Jurassic Express look in a while.
Who is that on? That's got to be on Luchasaurus then. To me, Luchasaurus, listen, Luchasaurus, He's got a great hot tag. Don't get me wrong. I mentioned this time and time again in the past. He's got a great hot tag. He's got nice explosive offense where Jungle Boy could do most of the work and then the big guy comes in and does the big spots. But he looks fucking stiff in the ring. I don't know what it is with Luchasaurus. He looks stiff as a fucking board in the ring. And then this goes on Bear Country because obviously they're still very young and very green. So I don't know why they felt like this was a match that should be on Dynamite if it was that sloppy.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the chemistry wasn't there. Like you said, the spot. What producer came up with the spot of this guy holding on to Jungle Boy and catching Luchasaurus? Luchasaurus is billed as the big man of the group. He's the big guy. You got one guy catching and holding on to both of them. That kind of kills half his gimmick. The other half is dinosaur.
Yeah.
So that part I didn't get. And then it just looked so fucking ugly trying to pull it off. And then when it botched, there was a couple of other slip ups in the match. I was watching it with my wife. I actually rewatched it this morning. Like, no bullshit. My wife will fucking testify to that. I rewatched it this morning with her. And she's watching it with me. She said, wow, this is kind of sloppy. And like, yeah, it's real sloppy. And I shit you not, like seconds later when it ended, JR said, wow, this is bowling shoe ugly. JR saying it's bowling shoe ugly, that's his code of this was a shitty match.
Well, listen. It wasn't all terrible. I mean, a couple spots, yeah. I seen what you were watching last night with your wife. It wasn't all terrible. Some of the things that they did were good. But as far as Bear Country, I believe they're number 4 ranked tag team in AEW right now. How are they, and what have they looked like on Dark from what you're watching?
They look fine. They look completely fine.
So maybe this was just a match with two teams that do not gel well together.
Either they just have no chemistry, or there was just an off night. Look, people have off nights, and I don't want to say it was just Luchasaurus. Just all around, it just wasn't vibing. And they could come back and do another one that might be great. But Bear Country by themselves are pretty damn good. And everybody knows how I feel about Jurassic Express. So I don't know. I can't explain why this match was bad, but it was just bad. I have no ill will against Bear Country or Jurassic Express. And I'm sitting and saying this match was fucking terrible. They just didn't vibe. Well, I don't know. I really can't tell you why, but it wasn't just one guy. Maybe it was bad production. Maybe it was badly produced. I don't know, but it was just not a good match.
Well, we went to commercial break in this thing, and Bear Country was taking it to Jungle Boy with frequent tags here. Jungle Boy flipped out of a double team move, reached Luchasaurus for the hot tag. Luchasaurus got a great hot tag, and Luchasaurus ran wild on everybody. He beat down both guys of Bear Country with a flurry of kicks and punches, a German suplex, a lariat. He went for a double choke slam. He went up top, but he was cut off by Boulder, who hit a superplex on Luchasaurus. Jungle Boy dove in to break up the pinfall, hit a springboard DDT on Bronson, which looked really nice. Luchasaurus planted Boulder with a slam, but the pinfall is broken up by Bronson, hitting a Michinoku driver on Jungle Boy. Bear Country had double team moves in the corner. It was a double team cannonball on Luchasaurus. They got a near fall out of that. They set up for a big splash, but Jurassic Express cut them off with a boot. Express went and sent Boulder to the floor. Luchasaurus hit a choke slam and the Mesoic moonsault for the win here, and that was pretty much it here with Jurassic Express picking up the victory. I don't know, man. Jurassic Express, I still feel like that injury, man, even now is haunting them to this day of Luchasaurus being out for however long it was. What was it, 8 weeks? That 8 weeks, man, still haunting them to this fucking day. They never, and it's probably some of the pandemic's fault as well, and not having the overwhelming live atmosphere of an AEW Dynamite show, but Jesus Christ, that injury is still haunting them to this day.
It is, but I don't think it's directly the injury, man. Because when he came back, there were still live crowds and they were going strong. But I guess Tony Khan just lost his faith in them or put them on the back burner because they had that tournament. They could have brought Jurassic Express right back, but they lost there. I mean, they had a few spots they could have put them back on top.
Wait a minute, Tony Khan lost faith in Jurassic Express?
Either that, yeah, they stopped being, they weren't pushed. They weren't pushed.
He just bought the rights to Jungle Boy's theme song.
Yeah, now I'm talking before the pandemic. when they still had crowds and everything was still going fine, they had a chance to put them back on top and make them tag champions, and they didn't pull the trigger on them.
You know why that is? Because they went out and signed how many other fucking tag teams before that, and then Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy kind of got lost in the shuffle. You know?
Yeah. There was a lot of fucking great tag teams. I mean, I'm with you. I know Khan didn't lose faith in them, but he definitely had them wait, and I think that killed their momentum. Because they were already on top, and that injury, I thought the injury was going to be the issue, but he came back and was in the ring much quicker, and all they had to do was continue with the push, and they did not. They waited, and then the pandemic hit, and then everybody fizzled off. So, and Jurassic Express is one of those crowd loving gimmicks where they need a crowd to help them get over, and so that didn't help them at all. But yeah, maybe now. They're trying to redo it, and they got to get that fizzle back. They need a live crowd back.
Yeah.
For Jurassic, look, I get it. Everyone needs a live crowd back, but I'm trying to say is that some gimmicks need the live crowd more than others. Some gimmicks have gotten fucking over without the live crowd. Bailey's heel gimmick is successful because of the fucking pandemic, dude.
Well,
I shit you not.
Well, I mean, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Orange Cassidy suffered the same fate. He's not the same without a live crowd.
Yeah.
But if you're somebody like Seth Rollins, who's being interviewed by emo fuckface with the terrible haircut over there for Fox Sports, he says that it's so great working in the Thunderdome, so I don't have to hear the CM Punk chants, or everybody loves to immediately shit on anything before giving anything a chance. Well, I'm sorry, Rollins. If you weren't a fucking asshole on social media, then we wouldn't go out there and fucking negatively criticize you and your fucking work, clown.
Yeah. You know what? You know what? I've been thinking this for weeks. Remember the times when Cesaro fucking shitted on the fans and had this big feud with beach balls? You know, it was Cesaro versus the beach ball every pay-per-view. How much would they love to have our fucking antics back right now?
Oh, give me a break. Well, Rollins doesn't, clearly.
Yeah, except Seth. Let him stay in the fucking Thunderdome then. Let everybody else go back to traveling with fans. I mean, I think they're learning that, fans, like anything else, they come with the good and bad. And unless you want us to go away, just take our fucking bed with the good. And we're going to bring beach balls, and we're going to chant CM Punk. I mean, I don't know why people still chant fucking CM Punk, dude.
I don't know, man.
I get it, but I don't get it. But it's going to get worse now. The fucking guy won't go away. He just keets popping his head up like a gopher, then going back down. He keeps doing
these things that get people talking. I just read the news before we went live. He was in the ring taking bumps with a UFC guy. Yeah. I don't know his name, but he was in the ring taking bumps with a UFC fighter.
Yeah. The guy, he's failing.
Is Punk coming back? Oh my God, he's taking bumps now.
He does. Every time he finds himself not being spoken about in a while, he comes out and says something on Twitter or in an interview to get his name back in the mouths of people. You notice that shit? Yeah. He just wants to have his name spoken. And please, I'm not bashing. I mean, if anybody knows me, I'm a Punk guy.
And then you got, I think it was during the NXT press conference or the conference call with Triple H, somebody mentioned, you think CM Punk would come back to the WWE and have a working relationship? Like every fucking time. Every time. Why are you asking him that question? He don't give a fuck.
No. At this point, I said it back with the backstage return that he did. I think Punk he put his own flame out. I mean, he's been gone for a while, and for all the people who complained about it, he had something left because people wanted him. Yeah. So no matter what you think about him or how much you hate him or washed up, when people are chanting his name and he has not stepped foot in the wrestling ring in fucking almost 10 years, then there is something there. There is just something there. So, but when he came back to that backstage shit, and then he killed his own value. He killed his own value.
Yeah. Remember when, I don't want to make this a Seth Rollins roast here, but remember when he said to Will Ospreay, yeah, we have a better version of you here on Raw. His name is Ricochet. He just won the United States title. Will Ospreay is the IWGP Heavyweight Champion right now. Where exactly is Ricochet? Mr. Messiah. Where is he, huh?
Where's Seth? Shit.
Where's Seth? He seems like he's drinking that WWE fucking Kool-Aid a little bit too much, bro. What are they slipping you in that Kool-Aid? Fucking dummy juice.
I mean, I'm all for the friendly banter. Look, I'm all for the friendly banter between wrestlers across companies on Twitter. I think it's awesome. It gets the fans get the chance to talk and fantasy book. But I don't agree with going on and and putting down other talent in other companies.
Yeah.
I'm not with that. If you're gonna bash somebody in your own company and let it lead to a feud.
Well, he wants to know why he's not over with the fans and why they legitimately hate him and why his babyface runs were fucked up.
Yeah.
Just look in the mirror. Blame yourself.
I hate that. I like the tweets where you get people from AEW saying congratulations to Bobby Lashley on becoming champ. That's the cross banter I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, or unless you're fucking Tamatanga and you can just fucking attack who you want on Twitter and it's okay. He's Tamatanga. But other than that, dude, no. Just keep it respectful. And you will look like a better gimmick in the long run. Even heels. Seth is a heel, and he's still coming off as a dick in this. It's not coming off as a heel. He's being a dick.
No, because he sucks on social media.
Yeah, yes. Rollins is awesome in the fucking ring. Probably easily top 5 in all of WWE. And that is saying a lot. Because they have a really deep roster. And I put Seth in the top 5 in ring work in that whole company. But he fails at fucking Twitter, man.
No, yeah. Well,
he's terrible.
Yeah, he's awful. Becky Lynch actually had to convince him to keep social media. So the only reason he's on social media is because of his wife. So that's that.
No, that's a fail for her. She should let him go.
Yeah. QT Marshall. I texted Jesse before we went live because I had to go back and rewatch some of the stuff that I was dozing in and out of sleep on last night. This was one of the things I went back on this morning when I got up. I shit on QT Marshall last week and the fact that they split the Nightmare Factory up. And we got QT's guys and Cody's got his guys. Sat down and watched this promo. I love the vibe. I love the way this was shot. I love the way that they all stood there behind QT Marshall, who was sitting on steel steps, I believe it was. Correct, Jesse?
Yeah.
He was sitting on steel steps, which was the weapon of choice last week in the attack. He sat in the ring, and he had everybody behind him. He talked about his credentials. He talked about Cody playing second fiddle to Ted DiBiase Jr. in Legacy. He said he wore face paint next because he wouldn't amount to anything despite being Dusty's kid. He said then he went to the Indies, did Cody, and surrounded himself with vanilla midgets so you could finally feel like the superstar you always knew you would never be. Ouch. Jesus Christ. He hit him below the belt with that one. QT then returned to talk about himself. He said he surrounded himself with hungry men, real men. He touted Aaron Solo, Camarado, and Anthony Ogogo. He said that Aaron Solo will never be the guy that's got to stand behind his ex-girlfriend. And Camarado's a real man. And Ogogo, he actually spoke for himself here. And Jesse, I got to admit, I was fucking impressed by Ogogo and the way he just spoke in this first. I never watched Dark. Everybody knows that watches me here. He sounded great. He said in the UK, he's already a superstar. He said fans in America are going to learn the hard way what he's all about. And Camarado threw a bucket of blue paint over the wall that said Nightmare Factory behind them. And Marshall closed this promo by saying, Cody, this is my factory. This was fucking awesome. QT Marshall made me look like a fool last week. If he stays in this type of role and he carries himself with this demeanor, this is awesome, bro.
Yeah, like I said, when he came up on the last segment with Cody, I loved it, but I didn't have enough to sit back and say, "Oh, you guys are crazy for not loving this," because I get it, the way he was booked and how he came off. But something about me was like, this guy is nice. And I even said Ogogo is real. That guy is legit, man.
It was almost QT was in a position where he just lacked this charisma. Where the fuck did this charisma come from? If he did this from the jump, I wouldn't have maybe been so hard on it. But last night just kind of was a culmination of all that we've seen with this angle brewing. And we finally got that charisma to break out last night. I'm asking myself while watching, where the fuck was this guy?
On Dark. That charisma was starting to show on Dark. And that's why I was not hating it. I'm like, I'm not hating this. This is actually pretty good. And the thing that happened with Cody on TV, and you were like, oh, who was this QT guy? Like, I get not giving a shit about QT because of the way he was brought up to this moment. But knowing what I saw from Dark and what I saw that night, I'm like, I'm liking QT Marshall. I think it's got something. And then last night's promo was like, yeah, that's when I text you like, dude, this guy is fucking good, man. Yeah. He's good.
Now listen, if everybody that he was there with in this promo, if they end up becoming superstars and he's the brains and stays in this role of being mentor, coach, manager, whatnot, and these guys go on to be superstars, if they introduce those trios championships, this could be a breakout performance for all these guys, and that's what I want to be the ultimate payoff here. The split of the Nightmare Factory, if these guys are the three guys that are ready and they're not getting any shine in the Nightmare Factory collectively, and you wanted to split them off and do this, and they're ready to break out, I want to see them break the fuck out.
Yeah, I didn't know that he was going to be in the ring, too. Remember I said a long time ago that Ricky Starks was fucking terrible on commentary.
Yep.
He was just the drizzling shits, and it wouldn't be so bad if he came out once in a while and did his bad commentary. The guy was out there every fucking week to the point I don't even want to watch Dark anymore. And then sure as shit, he was gone right after that. And then soon we get Anthony Ogogo. And then you ask, like, how is this Anthony Ogogo guy? Ogogo is nice. He is fucking great. And I'm kind of sad he's going to be leaving commentary to go work in the ring. But now that I see, like, the little glimpse that we get, I can't wait to see this guy in the ring, dude.
Yeah. He impressed me with the 30 seconds he got on the promo last night. I'm looking forward to seeing more of this trio here. So good on QT Marshall, man. That was fucking awesome. Easily one of the best parts of the entire show last night.
It is. And this also adds to the trios title division.
Yep, absolutely. Shivani back with Sting. Interviewed Sting on the stage about Darby's TNT title defense coming up against an imposter JD Drake. Jake Roberts immediately interrupted. Sting didn't even get a word in. Said this is the point where they interrupt Sting and Sting doesn't do anything about it. He asks where his little gerbil friend is at, a.k.a. Darby Allin. He brought up the cliche thing about how insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, just like how we do Monday night while watching Raw. Lance Archer then comes out and said the world is going to pay attention to him now. No more winning matches and then disappearing for weeks. Said this interview time with Shivani should be his, not Sting's. So Sting yanked the microphone away from Shivani and said, now it's time. Now it's my time. Sting told Archer to be slow to speak and quick to hear. So shut your mouth for a minute. Sting said he is in agreement with him. I agree with you, big man. He said he is a main event guy who deserves better. He asked Jake why he has this dumbfounded look on his face. Then he urged Jake to make him better and channel his energy with Archer in the right direction. Said if he does that, he'll be in a main event match for the world title once again, and perhaps without any disappearance. He told him to go do it and make it showtime. They cut away with Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page sitting up in the rafters laughing about this entire situation. Archer and Jake walked away as Shivani asked if they had anything else to say, and Archer did not as they both stormed through the tunnel. This was a little more of the same, but we got Jake saying his piece, Archer cutting Jake off. Jake didn't know really how to react here. Archer obviously knows how to carry himself. So the dynamic there, Jesse, is Sting now is in agreement with Lance Archer, but I think with what Sting said, Archer is going to channel his energy towards taking out Darby, and that's where the dynamic is really going to be.
It is. Again, I'm going to keep saying this, man. I just don't think Jake needs to be with Archer anymore.
No, I'm seeing it more and more. I agree with you.
Yeah, and it just looks like that they're maybe starting that dynamic of getting them apart. Maybe. But if you watch Dark, and I know you did not, I complained before about Archer just coming out, and Sting just doing Shivani segments and Archer coming out, and it kept being repetitive. But if you watch Dark now, it all makes sense because Archer came out and cut a fantastic promo too, though. I meant to tell you to go back and watch that, but Archer cut a promo by himself on Dark, and he basically said that it's his time. He's the younger talent. He should be getting the TV time, and he doesn't think Sting should be here getting his TV time. So until he deems it, necessary, his TV time is his TV. They say your TV time is my TV time. I'm fucking taking your TV time. So whenever Sting comes out, Archer's gonna come out and take his TV time because Sting doesn't deserve it. It's awesome. It makes sense. Now it all makes sense. Now I can't wait to see the next Shivani and Sting segment.
Yeah. A lot of people are poking fun about it on social media. Obviously, just reading tweets, I felt like it was the same thing. But then I went back and watched this, obviously, after the live stream, and I'm like, this was different. I like the progression here. It's almost like AEW is making it into a meme now with Shivani and Sting having interviews because they know the fans are shitting on it, but they're doing it anyway just as a fucking, hey, we don't give a shit. We know you're right, but we're doing it anyway because it's funny.
Yeah, they turned it. I wish they would have put that promo on Dynamite because it just made so much sense as to why we keep seeing this now. You know, it really ties it all together. They should have played a promo of it or something because now it makes total sense. It's repetitive, but now it's repetitive with logic behind it. Yeah. Now it makes sense. You know, you're a fucking washed up guy, and now this is my time. I should be I should have been champion already, but now I gotta sit here, and now you come on, now you're getting TV time. I'm taking your fucking TV time. How you like that shit?
Yeah, this is, I mean, nothing's changed on my end. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they do with Lance Archer. I think he deserves the big spot. A match with him and Darby should kill it, and Lance Archer becoming the new TNT champion. I'm completely on board with that.
Yep, and yeah, just find something. I'm enjoying Jake, and I like what I like what Jake brings to the table as far as his promo work goes. Yep. He's done his job with Archer. He can move on to someone else.
So Sting was out there. We got that promo done with Archer. Sting was there at ringside with Darby as he next defended the TNT Championship against J.D. Drake. Jesse, before I get into the match, I know I praised J.D. Drake for his in-ring work. Before I get your opinion on it, before I dive into what happened in this match, I will say this. This was a great spotlight for J.D. Drake. A lot of people are probably looking at him, not really giving a shit about what he does in the ring because they don't know who he is. He got a spotlight last night against Darby Allin. It was a very good match. He's a very good pro wrestler. He used the time wisely that they gave him here in a big situation. He owned up to it. And the one thing I will say about this is, even though he's a great pro wrestler, I don't know who he is, and I think the majority of the audience don't know who he is, and that's going to translate to the I don't give a shit who he is because I don't know who he is. I do think before he was thrown into this situation, we should have seen a promo, a video package, some backstory on him as to why we should care, who he is, where he came from. Now, I know him and Darby have some history in Evolve because I've been to some Evolve shows here in Queens at La Boom, Club La Boom, and I've seen J.D. Drake, and I've seen Darby perform in those venues before they made it to AEW and AEW Dark. But do you agree that they maybe should have done more with J.D. Drake to get the audience in line with who he is, even though he did perform well in this spotlight? What did you ultimately think of his performance last night against Darby?
I found it to be just one of the most uninteresting things I've seen in the whole show.
That's why I said what I said. I knew you were going to say it.
Yep. You just, and again, when I see a new talent come in, I'm going to sit and I'm going to evaluate it, just objectively. And then when you get somebody come in with the name value, I see everybody knows who he is. They're familiar with his work. Like, okay, then I'm going to pay extra attention to it. All right. So I'm watching this promo work. I'm watching this in-ring work. And it was all said and done. I don't care about this guy. His charisma is okay, but it is not enough to carry him over the top with someone who doesn't know who he is.
Listen. Someone in the chat just said the promo on J.D. Drake is on the road to Dynamite. I don't give a fuck what's on the road to Dynamite. You need to put this shit on Dynamite. Never mind a fucking YouTube video. Who is he? He looks like a generic pro wrestler. There's no character. And a lot of people in AEW suffer from the same thing. There's no character, which is going to translate to the fans not caring. You're not in the fucking small leagues anymore, man. This is TNT. You have to give people a reason to care. Yeah. That's my point.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I'm not watching the road to
No.
There's too much wrestling on right now. I'm doing my best to watch what I can. I cannot watch every fucking thing. I think it's a miracle by God that I watch Dark as much as I do. And I don't watch all of that. I kind of skim through and look for the important shit.
And if there's something important that's happening on Dark or Elevation, why don't they show a fucking replay or a video package that they show there and show it on Dynamite? All we get from Dark and Elevation is the bottom scroll feed, like SportsCenter, who defeated who. I don't even know half these people.
It is becoming slowly more apparent that Dark is becoming must watch as far as storyline and canon and things like that. Max Caster is still doing music videos on Dark. Full fucking videos, dude.
Yeah, that shit sucks, man.
Full song. I mean, it's such good shit. Man, I sound like Vince right there. His videos are just really fucking good, and they're being wasted and not being re-shown on Dynamite at all.
No.
It is good fucking shit sometimes, man. And even when he goes to the ring and does his promos with his dark matches and shit like that, some of that stuff is just so interesting to the point where how can you not fucking replay that on national TV, man?
I don't know.
They don't. It's wasted.
So that's my feeling on the situation. JD Drake is in a situation just like everybody else. There's no character there. He's a great pro wrestler. He shined nicely in this spotlight on TNT. But in the end, just like Jesse said, and the majority of the people are going to feel the same way Jesse is. There's nothing like. Why am I going to care?
Don't care.
Nobody's going to care.
I don't care. I mean, there's been no hype to him. There's just nobody's putting him over. He looks like someone who will find his footing and get to where he needs to be in the company. He really does. But it just seems like another botched AEW debut.
Yeah. So this was a decent match. It went about 12 minutes or so. We got a cool spot where Drake rebounded Allin off the ropes from the outside, leveled him with a big forearm. Allin avoided a cannonball on the floor, sending Drake crashing into the barricade. Allin then took out both Drake and Benoni, who was out there. They top rope dive to the floor. Drake pushed Allin off the top rope and attacked him in a tree of woe. And then another cannonball came Darby Allin's way. A Vader bomb by JD Drake followed for a very good near fall. Allin rolled out of the way of a moonsault and went back to the top rope. Yes, JD Drake, the big guy, can do a nice moonsault. He moved out of the way, went back up to the top rope, was cut off by Drake again. They were up top laying in strikes to each other before Allin hit an avalanche code red and a coffin drop for the win. After the match, Butcher Blade came in and attacked Darby Allin. They were flanked by Matt Hardy and Private Party. Bunny wanted to put Allin through the announce table on the stage, but Sting and the Dark Order ran out to chase them all off. Tay Conti attacked the Bunny as officials ran out to set up their singles match, which was coming up next. Just another situation after the match that set up Darby versus Matt Hardy next week for the TNT title in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And it's just another situation where Tony Khan just has to do it every show. Let's get everybody in a segment that we're not featuring on the show in a segment on Dynamite so everybody's got their piece of the cake. Whatever. Matt Hardy was the only one of necessary, importance here, and that was it. I don't know why Matt Hardy just didn't come out and attack Darby and set up their match. Why we needed everybody else. No, I don't give a fuck about anybody else. Just give me Matt and Darby and move on.
In the realm that we're living in right now, where there's clearly too many factions in AEW, the Matt Hardy faction definitely seems like one that doesn't need to be.
No.
It does not.
No, none of them fit. I look at Matt Hardy after all the years of watching the Hardy Boys. I look at Matt Hardy. I don't see his allegiance with any of these people.
No.
Private Party maybe because they looked up to the Hardy Boys. Them I get. Butcher, Blade, and Bunny. Like you said, I don't know why they're just not a standalone fucking tag team with them having her as the valet and them going after the tag team rankings. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah. They really don't need to be. Private Party does not need to be there either. They're not. It doesn't seem like they're getting over with him at all. I mean, they can get over on their own, or maybe they can't. We'll see. I don't know. But at the same time, it doesn't look like they're being elevated by Hardy right now at all.
No, I feel like they've taken a step back.
Yeah, and that's even following on BTE and everything else. It's just it's not working. It's not. They do more of it on BTE to try to bring it together. Still not working.
Alex Marvez interviewed Jericho about blood and guts. Jericho said Marvez looks more handsome than usual, so that proves Jesse right there. He's actually being nice to Marvez now? Come on, man.
What the fuck, dude?
MJF attacked Jericho from behind. Dax and Cash, Wardlow, Shawn Spears dragged Jericho out to the ring. The announcers noted Jericho was alone. FTR delivered a spike pile driver. Cameraman showed that the Inner Circle door was bolted shut. This was cool. But they broke through the door. Wardlow then set up a powerbomb on Jericho. But Mike Tyson came out, and he walked out, tore off his shirt. He punched away at Shawn Spears, who he came up from behind to with body shots. The rest of the Pinnacle bailed out. The rest of the Inner Circle ran out there to join Tyson in the ring as MJF was screaming at what had happened here. Jericho was telling Tyson thank you. He offered Tyson a handshake. Tyson accepted. MJF, Tully, Blanchard, and the rest of Pinnacle were throwing a fit, like I said, at ringside. He was throwing stuff around. Shivani said the Pinnacle was having a baby temper tantrum here. Tyson posed with the Inner Circle, and he is now a part of Jericho's camp. This was I guess, expected, but to no importance whatsoever, Jesse. I still did not really get Mike Tyson's involvement here. Like you said, they could have trotted anybody out there. It had to be fucking Mike Tyson for the TMZ/casual clicks on AEW side. But man, Mike Tyson punching away at Shawn Spears. I get Mike Tyson's not a professional wrestler, but Jesus Christ, bro, you got to do better than that. That looked fucking awful. He was. It looks like he was taking fucking shadow punching lessons from Shane McMahon.
Yeah, I was watching it with my wife. I said, it looks like he's trying his hardest not to hit fucking Shawn Spears and fucking kill that guy.
It looked terrible. Whatever it was, it looked terrible.
Yeah, he looked like me. He was trying too hard. Like, he clearly did not want to punch him.
No. I mean, if he did, he'd probably have his fucking intestines just spill out like it's an episode of The Walking Dead. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. We got some news in the chat that I'm trying to confirm right now.
You do that. I see it. I don't know if that's true or not, but you look that up. I'm going to continue on with the next segment here so we roll on along. Shivani interviewed Britt Baker and Reba backstage. Baker asked Tony Khan to give the people what they want, and that is a championship match for Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. She said the ranking system is total bullshit. She was bleeped out. Championship matches should not be based around wins and losses. It should be based on star power, t-shirt merchandise sales, and TV demographic ratings. Man, she must be getting an earful from Adam Cole, huh?
Wait, the bullshit was blocked out for you? I don't think the bullshit was blocked for me. I don't think it was.
Maybe on TNT, but on Fight, I didn't get any bleep.
Oh, you didn't get a bleep?
No. On
I
TNT,
didn't get a bleep
it was
either.
On TNT, it was bleeped.
Oh, no, I didn't get a bleep. No.
Oh, well, maybe they just let it go. TNT's good like that. She said championship matches are not based around wins and losses. Should be based on star power, t-shirt, merchandise sales, and TV demographics. Maybe she should join the E, Jesse.
Yeah, okay. By that theory, then yeah, she should.
Yeah. She said
she should be happy.
She said she's at the top of all those categories. She's a true role model. She's going to fix the broken system and climb her way to the rankings at the top and pretend these wins actually matter. She said she'll be getting her wins up on Elevation, Dark, and Dynamite. So you got a trifecta, buddy. You got Dr. Brittany Baker, DMD, on all shows, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, now you're okay with it.
I'm okay with that, dude. More dentist all the time. She is now literally the head of the women's division, and she deserves it. She's fucking enjoyable to watch now. Let me tell you something that happened on Dark, dude. Or maybe it was Elevation. I don't remember. I think it was It was Elevation. She had a jobber match. It was must see. It was must fucking see. She came out, she cut a promo. She fucking told the girl she was wrestling, look, you're just fucking enhancement talent or whatever, but I'll help you out. She got down Greco-Roman style and then just flipped her over, and then you gotta see it, dude. It was probably one of her best non-matches of it. It was fucking incredible. I was so fucking highly entertained by it.
So she's getting better.
You gotta see it. It was no wrestling involved. It was all promo, and she just made this girl look like a fucking simp. And it was so fucking comical, dude. You gotta fucking see it. It was really fucking good.
Listen, man, good for her. She's owning her heel gimmick. She's finally in that comfort zone, and you actually see it on television, which is a great thing to see.
Okay, I sent you. That's confirmed. That's confirmed. I sent you the link.
AEW, what, text?
Yeah, in the text, yeah.
AEW, let's see, folks. We got breaking news here. AEW, attention fans in Houston and Milwaukee. We have an update on AEW Live Dynamite events scheduled for this summer. Looks like we got some touring news from AEW. And Houston, Texas is getting a Dynamite show at the University of Houston's Fertitta Center in Houston, Texas on June 30th. That's been scheduled for Wednesday, August 18th. And Dynamite, the show that was supposed to happen at the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena on July 14th, has been rescheduled for Wednesday, August 25th. So it looks like we may be getting Dynamite in different venues as the summer months roll on, which is good news because I've been begging for them, praying for them to get the fuck out of Daly's place, man.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's awesome. That's good news.
Yeah. I got news on Ivelisse as we get into the women's division match tonight on Dynamite. Ivelisse, people have noticed Ivelisse not being used as of late, and there's an issue that has happened behind the scenes. Dave Meltzer reported in the Observer newsletter that there's a story going around, Jesse, that she had an issue with several coaches in the company. Meltzer brought up how she was recently asked about her status, and she said, "If only I could speak," end quote. Up until this point, she's been teaming with Diamante, but with Ivelisse on the sidelines, AEW has been booking Diamante as a singles on Dark and Elevation. Meltzer wrote, and I quote, "The story was there, and it was an issue with her and a few coaches, and she's not being booked right now, but it's not like she's been let go either at this point. She's currently on a per-appearance deal, not a full-time contract with AEW. Her most recent match with AEW came in February, on the 17th of February. That was an edition of AEW Dark." So there you go, Jesse. It seems like her demons are once again coming back to haunt her, this time in AEW with her attitude issues behind the scenes.
Where'd you get attitude issues? I heard she wasn't getting along with people in the back. How is that her and her attitude? It takes two to tango.
Well, I don't know. Why is she arguing with her bosses?
We don't know. We don't know.
I don't know.
But I knew there was a reason. I've been asking for weeks. There was a reason why she wasn't on TV. I mean, I'm not here to defend her and say it's them or it's her. But from that story, she just wasn't getting along. We don't know why. It could be there could be many a reason why.
All right, well, we'll let it marinate and see what happens. If there's any news regarding Ivelisse moving on from here, we will obviously let you guys know, because she is a fan favorite of a lot of people here.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I'm not even trying to say that the report is bullshit. I'm just saying, listening to the report, it doesn't clearly say that she has attitude issues. It just said that she wasn't getting along. So I'm waiting for more. Give me more rumors on it as to who is at fault here, and I'll go by that. But right now, we don't know shit.
We will wait. Moving on to the women's match, we got Tay Conti defeating the Bunny here with Hikaru Shida at ringside for some odd reason. The Hardy family office was with the Bunny. Bunny was early on the attack here. Conti came back with some suplexes and some kicks. We went to commercial break. Conti was sent into the barricade, and Bunny maintained control through the commercial. Conti was making her comeback when we came back. And she had judo throws, which looks great on Conti's behalf. Those judo throws. Missed a corner knee, running into a thrust kick from the Bunny. Conti laid in some forearms. Hardy tried to distract her on the outside. She avoided Bunny trying to take advantage and hit the Tay KO for a 2 count. Bunny rolled to the floor and down Shida with a cheap shot before hitting Conti with a kendo stick. Shida popped up and took the kendo stick away from the Bunny, allowing Conti to the superplex and the DDT for the win. A lot of puns here as far as Tay Conti's moves and moveset, but Conti gets the win. It looks like they're setting up Conti versus Shida for the AEW Women's Championship. Decent little match here, but I mean, it's nice to see Tay Conti, Jesse, and the push that she's getting. It feels a little natural, feels a little organic, and she's growing in the process. But I honestly think the outcome here, no matter how you look at it in a match against Shida, it seems like it's completely one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're gonna, look, I would love to see Shida get rid of that belt, but it's not. I mean, Tay Conti is not the answer right now.
No.
Not yet, at least.
No, Brittany Baker, DMD is the answer.
It is. I was watching this. Like I said, I was watching this with my wife, and then we were sitting there watching the match. And then I turned to her and said, "Hey, guess what?" She said, "What?" I said, "You won't believe this, but the AEW Women's Champion is at ringside right now."
Yeah.
She said, "When? Did she just come running out?" I said, "No, she was out there for the last 5 fucking minutes, and we never even realized it."
Yeah.
There was no mention of her.
Nope.
The camera barely. I caught her out of the corner of my eye. Can you imagine Ronda Rousey or Becky or anybody, or Sasha, coming out to be ringside for a match and no mention of her at all?
Completely being a non-factor.
Yeah, she just slid on out there with the fucking Dark Order, dude. I mean, just nothing.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, she is not a champion. She is not.
Well, Tay Conti's getting that shot next. When that happens, we will have to wait. We don't know as of yet. But next week's Dynamite shaping up to be a pretty decent show as a standalone show on Wednesday night. I can't fucking wait. Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy, Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT title. Should be real fun there, giving Matt Hardy and his hardcore background. Bucks versus Pac and Ray Phoenix for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Anthony Ogogo makes his in-ring debut. Looking forward to that. We're getting Jade Cargill versus Red Velvet. And Sammy Guevara is going to join Chris Jericho. Jericho will go one-on-one against Dax Harwood with Mike Tyson as the special enforcer. All other Inner Circle and Pinnacle members are banned from ringside.
There we go.
Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. This is the main event of Dynamite. Don Callis was on commentary. They went up against Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks, Matt Nick Jackson. We got news before we get into the match in regards to somebody that's not in this match, but Doc Gallows comes into play here. He was actually interviewed by Fightful, Doc Gallows, and he runs Lariato Pro Wrestling and said that Big Cass was adamant. Big Cass of Enzo and Cass said that Big Cass was adamant about wanting to keep his appearance at that show a surprise. He wanted to see if he still had love for professional wrestling. It is reported that Kaz XL, which is the name he's going by now, is not done in pro wrestling. And Jesse, there is major interest from major companies in Kaz XL. Gallows tells Fightful that he spoke with higher-ups in companies about the possibility of using him, noting that, and I quote, people have to ask about a guy like that. Now, I don't know where he ends up or if he has interest in going anywhere. Maybe he wants to stay on the indies. Maybe he doesn't want the big spotlight because that was part of his downfall the first time. But if there's a company that is out there that Kaz XL and I'm going to go out on a limb and say Enzo fit perfectly in, Enzo and Cass would fit perfectly, dude, in AEW. And I would love to, I would absolutely love to see it because I always said from day one, and I know you agree, they were incredibly hot coming up from NXT. They were ready for the big stage. WWE broke them up for absolutely no reason. If you give them a redo in AEW, my God, bro, we would see a bigger, better, and better version of Enzo and Cass in AEW.
Yeah, I heard about this story too, and I don't know. I think they will go after Cass. I mean, it's not about going after him, man. If they want him, I mean, what else is he gonna do? You know, I mean, but the thing is, I don't know about Enzo. It looks like Enzo rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, just by the way he is, and that stunt that he pulled at SummerSlam and all this other shit that he's been doing. It's been rubbing people the wrong way. That's why there's a lot of talk about Cass and not as much about Enzo. Yeah,
but I think Enzo is just as valuable to Cass in the end, and I do think that Enzo has matured a little bit. You know, I don't think that's the same Enzo now.
It could be. I like Enzo. I mean, I do. I'm just wondering if anybody's willing to go out there and try him again after the stunts that he's pulled.
Listen, if I'm Tony Khan, I give them a 1 year deal. See how it goes for 1 year, probably 6 months.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
And if they prove themselves and they're on their best behavior, give them a longer deal. But I think there's incredible value there, especially with live fans coming back in attendance, hopefully soon.
Yeah, I do like how the drama that Enzo had is completely blown over since he was vindicated. You know, I hate that people that that want to resurface shit that was not true or proven wrong and everything else and still act like it still exists, and it does not. It never did. So I am happy to see that.
Yeah. So that's interesting. I figured we'd throw that in there before we talk about the main event. This drama, Jesse, between the Bucks and Omega and what's happening here, who's elite, who's not elite. I just can't bring myself to fully invest myself and my time into this. Like, I love all the guys involved. I love Omega. I think the Bucks are great, but man, it is very difficult to care about. Like, do you honestly at the end care about this?
No, I mean, the Bucks are, I mean, the Bucks are the whole storyline with the Young Bucks. I'm not gonna lie. It's just it seems like it's going nowhere, and it's just not interested in me.
No.
I mean, they are turning into the big shows, with all these heel turns, everything else. But as of right now, even with this turn, I was still unsure what the hell was going on. Like, did they turn? Was it a turn? Was it a full turn? He still look unsure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on with him, and it's starting to not feel like a good thing.
No.
Like, oh, I can't wait to see where they go next. No. It's not. I mean, they're losing a lot. And then on BTE, Gallows and Anderson, they've been on there every week, and it's just all dick stuff with them.
Yeah, that's the juvenile side of it, man. I never liked that from them. I told you personally, I don't like that, and it really is a turnoff when you see that every single week and just the overbearing way that they do it.
Yeah, it's just so, it is not fucking funny. It is not a once in the blue moon thing and everything else. And I don't want to come off as, they're not mature enough for me. But this is it's just not fucking funny.
No.
It's to the point where they even do disclaimers. We're going to talk about dick stuff so you can go forward for 2 minutes if you want. Just don't do it. We don't like it.
You know what pissed me off about this entire situation? I'm not even going to go through the match because the match itself was the most unimportant thing in this entire sequence. It was all about the ending and what happened with Matt, Nick, and Moxley with Omega. Matt is in the match with the AEW World Champion. Him and his brother hold the AEW Tag Team Championships. They're in a match, and they're trying to win this match, and they stop after going through all this and beating each other up. They go through 20 minutes of a match to get to the outcome of this match, and then they don't want to wrestle anymore. They were like, oh my God, I can't super kick him. Meanwhile, you went through 20 minutes of a fucking match to get to that point. Now, at that moment, you can't do one more move to win the match for your team and then turn heel?
Exactly.
Fucking ridiculous. Who books this shit? You make me look like, and Jesse look like a blithering idiot for watching this shit. That's the first thing I thought. You went 20 minutes to not super kick him?
It makes no sense.
Fucking ridiculous, man. Tony Khan, I don't know what the fuck you're doing back there, bro. You need some sense slapped into you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I always want to do the benefit of the doubt thing with these guys because I know that, they know how to do creative and everything else, but this has been going on for a while, and this storyline is just not picking up for me.
No, it's not. It seems like it just stopped. Like they're waiting for something. It feels like they're waiting for something, but when is that something going to happen? The longer you go on with this shit, the more I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about their relationship. Give me the next phase in this storyline.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for. I thought they were leaning towards them versus Gallows and Anderson. They keep switching that way. I don't know where this are. Gallows and Anderson just full-time AEW. They seem to be the only ones crossing the forbidden door. Where's Kenta? What the fuck happened to him? Is he coming back? Are these guys still employed with fucking Impact, or are they now full-time AEW star? I mean, they drop those belts, now they're on AEW every week. Are they still on Impact? I don't know.
Listen, man, they're making double payday. Impact pays them for their appearances over there. Tony pays them for their appearances on AEW.
Good for them. I mean, but do something interesting. In the ring, I like how in the ring they are good. They're still good. They're interesting.
They are very good. A little
bit more.
They are very good as a tag team.
Yeah, and storyline wise, they can pull it off as far as whatever storyline they're doing. It's just there is no interesting storyline.
No, you know what I feel like is hindering them? I feel like they're waiting for this Omega and Rich Swann match to happen. That may be the catalyst for all this. I think that's what they may be waiting for to move on to the next phase of this thing. Until then, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't see how Rich Swann will be holding anything back as far as. I mean, that title, I get it, but I mean, he already has a title. They can proceed to make him look like a real fucking champion. Because right now, I don't know where this is. Nobody is getting over in the storyline right now. The Bucks are annoying.
Do you want to know what? Because what is their goal? They made a big deal about, I can't join Kenny Omega. Matt is struggling with his mentality here. Don Callis is being a manipulative prick. Like, now they're together. They waited all these weeks contemplating, should we be with Kenny? He's our best friend. He's a dick. Don Callis is ruining him. Don Callis took our best friend away. Now they're together. What is their end goal? We have not gotten a clue as to what their end goal. Now they're together. Where are they going and what is their goal? You haven't told me. I don't know.
They're not talking about a plan. They're not trying to figure. I don't know. It feels like they don't know.
And it feels like fucking Bruce Pritchard's writing this shit. That's what it feels like.
and Big Show and Natalia, 47,000 fucking heel turns, man.
Yeah, babyface, heel, babyface, pricks, heel now.
Yeah, tweeners.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's like they feel like they don't want to go full heel. They just keep going from babyface to tweener.
Like, I need these guys. I need Callis or Omega or Matt now after he turned heel and joined Omega again last night. I need them to give me a direction as to what their end goal is. What is your goal now? Now you're one big family together. You're going to take over AEW. You're going to go to New Japan and take their championships. You're going to go to Impact and take... What's the deal?
No clue. No clue. Who are they defending the titles against now?
Pac and Phoenix.
Pac and Phoenix. They're not going to lose that.
No.
They're not going to lose it.
No.
Nobody thinks they're going to lose that. So why are we doing that? I mean, I don't know. Let's see where they go.
Well, Moxley here prevented Omega from hitting a V-trigger with a huge lariat before Matt stuffed Omega with a pile driver. Got a great near fall. Matt, the Young Bucks rather, hit more bang for your buck. Anderson came in to break up the pin. Nick hit his Escalera dive off the top rope, took out the Good Brothers on the floor. Matt then wouldn't keep up on the attack on Omega, but Nick set up for the BTE trigger. Matt wouldn't hit it, so Moxley came in and he demanded the Bucks to do something. He tagged himself in, hit the paradigm shift on Omega, followed up with a second one. He locked in a rear naked choke before setting up a pile driver he was setting up, and then the Bucks super kicked Moxley, preventing him from getting the win. Eddie Kingston then limped out to the stage to stop this attack on Moxley. The Good Brothers cut him off with a Magic Killer right on the stage. They had Magic Killer on Moxley, dragged Omega on top of Moxley as Omega pins Moxley for the win. After the match, the Good Brothers set up Moxley for super kicks, and the Bucks delivered a double super kick to Moxley as they all hugged in the middle of the ring as Dynamite went off the air. Looks like the Bucks are going to defend the titles against Pac and Phoenix, successfully defend, and maybe we get the Bucks versus Moxley and Eddie Kingston for the tag team championships. It seems that's where they are going here.
Lame.
Again, I don't care.
Is Kingston hurt?
I have no idea. I didn't hear anything. Maybe he's just selling something.
Yeah, I mean, what's he selling then? Is he legit hurt or just just a little banged up a little bit, or what's going on with him?
Maybe, who knows? I don't know. Again, the most important thing is I just don't care. It looks like, the blow off from Moxley and Omega seemed to have happened at the Exploding Barbed Wire Death match, and now here we are, and they're still in the ring together. I don't know what that tells you, Jesse, but it tells me that AEW doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with Omega's title run, and Omega doesn't have a sea of opponents to go after yet. Or rather, a sea of opponents to go after Omega for the world title.
Looks like they don't know. They're keeping Moxley hovering around. They're mentioning Hangman here and there. But we don't know.
I don't know. If you were to pick one guy right now for Omega to defend that world title against at Double or Nothing, who is it? 6 weeks out, bro. Who is it?
6 weeks? They've done Moxley too much.
Yeah. Do we get Christian versus Omega in 6 weeks?
Fuck no. No, there's no way. There's no way. I guess Hangman? Maybe?
Already? Hangman should not be challenging for the title unless he's winning the title.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know. Maybe Kenny does not defend at the next.
Does somebody from New Japan come over, or do we get Ibushi? He lost the title to Will Ospreay. Does Ibushi come over and challenge Omega at Double or Nothing?
That's a good point. There is no challenger lined up, so maybe there is one, and maybe he is coming in through the Forbidden Door. Maybe.
I don't know.
Kenta, what's going on with Kenta?
He disappeared.
Back through the Forbidden Door.
Kenny Omega versus Eddie Kingston? No, that's not a main event match for their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Come on.
No.
Or their biggest This is their biggest pay-per-view of the year. All Out's the second biggest. This is their flagship show.
Is the Forbidden Door like a fucking warp tunnel in Mario? I mean, you just go back and zip straight through to fucking New Japan or something?
It's me, Mario!
Yeah, how does that fucking work? They just teleport right back through and... I don't know. You gotta wear a COVID mask in the Forbidden Tunnel. I don't know.
I don't know. That is your AEW Dynamite review, folks. Appreciate you all for hanging out on this Thursday afternoon. Awesome stuff here. We're going to go over some super chats quickly. Follow us on social media. You see the Twitter handles right there on the screen. At JDfromNY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button. We got 439 likes. Where the fuck is the likes at, man? 750 is the goal. Come on. Super chats are open. Get them on in. Go check out the NXT TakeOver review from last night. I'll be live again tonight with TakeOver Night 2. Should be a good one. And hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications, man. Let's hit these super chats. We got a couple of them. We got a big bomb right off the top from Steve Wynyard with a 200-pound super chat from the UK. Hi, JD. Being in the UK, it's hard to catch your live streams, though I watch later. All your work is much appreciated, educating us goons and entertaining us. Give me a Strowman Express. Whee! The Strowman Express! Dumb. Braun Strowman challenging Shane McMahon on night 1 of WrestleMania. I'll be in the bathroom. When did you, when you did that on the Raw review, he had the train sound effect. I laughed my ass off. Yeah, man, I'll be bringing it back for Saturday's WrestleMania show. Whee! Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, bro. Cold Phoenix 713 with a $5 super chat. JD, you are a fucking beast as always. And Jesse, I love the glasses and the work you do as well. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Much love to you both. Thank you, Miss Phoenix.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
People in the chat were saying Jesse looks like he should be in the hurt business.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I don't like hurting people, man. I'm a nice guy.
No. He only likes hurting Thunder Rosa's feelings.
Oh, come on, man. Come on.
Ankle break, AJ2 with a $5 super chat. Question to you both. Do you think Cole versus O'Reilly would be better than last night's Ciampa versus Walter? I'm banking on it, bro. It's gotta be.
Yeah, it will. It will.
Gus with a $5 super chat. At work today, guarding shit. So thanks for giving me something to listen to. Also, if you need extra security guards for the club, let me know. Gus, I got your name and number in the Rolodex, bro. If the venue needs anybody else, I'll hit you up. Otis Ent with a $5 super chat. Keep doing the damn thing, JD. I'll be at work while TakeOver is on. You and Jesse should start the bench business and make it a shirt I'd buy. Bro, the bench business has been in effect since I've started YouTube, bro.
I like that, man.
I know. I like the idea. The bench business.
Yeah.
Gerald Bryan with a $5 super chat. Hey, guys, do you see the Young Bucks turning on Omega to help Hangman Page win the AEW Championship at Double or Nothing? No.
No.
Omega hasn't done anything with the title. Why are we already booking him to lose the title at Double or Nothing?
No.
Not happening. I say at Full Gear in November.
Yeah. And as of right now, it's kind of like the Roman situation. I don't even see anybody worthy of taking the title off of him, so it's not even in the discussion right now.
Yeah.
So.
Coiled Phoenix with another $5 super chat. I know this is an AEW review, but I have to ask Jesse, what was your favorite match from NXT Night 1, and what are you looking forward to tonight on Night 2?
My favorite match was Walter and Ciampa.
Yep, I agree.
I'm pretty sure it was. And then I wanted it to be, I don't know. I guess personally for me, it was probably EO and Raquel, but I'm just a big fucking EO mark. So I know the better wrestling match was Ciampa and Walter.
And I got news on a couple of things that happened on Night 1. We'll go over that stuff on Night 2 tonight. The show, like I had felt, was rushed, and it came out today in the news that indeed EO and Raquel was incredibly rushed and was cut an ample amount of time because something before it went too long. Yeah. Which I'm assuming was the gauntlet match.
Probably.
Coil Phoenix, thank you for the $5 super chat. Darius, the official, with a $5 super chat. Plus, the guy, JD Drake, didn't even get a full entrance. He got the jobber entrance, so that made me care less, in my opinion, bro. That's always a case, man. But it was a tryout, so I'm not really holding it against AEW for that.
Yeah.
Justin with a $1.99 super chat. The BS was bleeped on my end on TNT. I watched it on Fight after the fact because that's where I got the stream from, and they didn't bleep anything out. They just let it fly on Fight, which is good.
Yeah, There was, I mean, they only can get so many in a week, I guess, and there was a couple that went through. Maybe this was the one that got bleeped. I don't know, but I know they got a couple of shits in.
Jacob Donnelly with a $5 super chat. $1,000 bet Mike Tyson punches Chris Jericho next week. Jacob, I don't think so, brother. I think Tyson, if he can stay awake next week, he is going to keep up with the Inner Circle, and MJF is going to get the last laugh at Blood and Guts. Robert Lamoa with a $5 super chat. I don't get why would Taz recruit Christian. He has like 4 young talents that could wrestle for long, bring brutality, and are championship hunters. He just wants the knowledge and the mind that Christian possesses to teach the younger guys, Robert. That's what his...
Taz is the mind and the knowledge for younger guys.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to give a fucking explanation here. Yes, I get it.
They just want his name value to bring star power to Team Taz.
Yeah.
I mean, what else would he fucking want? I mean, if you're gonna bring in somebody to bring in knowledge to the game, what the fuck are you here for?
I don't know. Dwayne Cruz with a $5 super chat. The whole thing with Kenny has to lead to Kenny versus Ospreay, right? Ospreay has never had a big match on American soil, or am I wrong? Listen, bro, take my fucking money. If that's the case, do it. Do it.
I'll see.
And Esteban Ray with a $5 super chat. JD, can I finally send you a super chat? This schedule is awesome. Let's go, Edgar Estrada. There you go. Those are all your super chats, ladies and gentlemen. Short day. I will be back live tonight with the NXT TakeOver podcast on Off the Script. Jesse, any parting words before we get the hell out of here?
No, man, I don't think so. Man, I hope everybody enjoys their WrestleMania weekend. A lot of stuff going on.
Furious Nation.
Get overconsumed.
Furious Nation with a $5 super chat coming in late. What's up, JD and Jesse? How you guys doing? Which match do you think is match of the night with TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 2? I'm going with Devlin versus Santos Escobar. Ladder match.
You don't think
no.
O'Reilly and Cole?
No.
I don't know, man. They might tear it up.
They will. I'm going with Santos and Devlin. Esteban with another $5 super chat. Also, JD, I have everything ready to go to start a podcast. You are a great inspiration, brother. Hopefully I can follow you in your footsteps and not be another geek. Good luck, Esteban. Just remember to be yourself, brother, and do it because you love to do it, not because you want to make money and gain fame. It's not going to work out. It'll fail miserably. All right, guys, we are about to get out of here, man. Remember, go and hit up the NXT review if you missed it last night on the channel right now. Go hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit the thumbs up. Let's try for 750 thumbs up live. Can we get as close as we can to it? Hopefully you guys do so after the fact, after it publishes to YouTube. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Go get your t-shirts. Bonfire is the home. Off the Script masks. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. Hit up our sponsors, man, today. We got BlueChew.com. Use code JD for your free sample. And Dr. Squatch. Soaps, shampoos, conditioners, toothpaste, deodorant, you name it, man, to keep your hygiene game in check. DrSquatch.com. Use code SCRIPT at checkout to save 20% off. And Magician Sapphire with a late edition $10 super chat. Just wanted to show some last minute love, my guys. Thank you, Magician Sapphire. Guys, I will see you all tonight for the NXT live stream Night 2 TakeOver. It's a beautiful day in New York City, man. It is 65 degrees, sunny without a cloud in the fucking sky. So you know what that means, man. My cold beverage is empty. I might have to go get another one. But I'm taking my cold beverage. Windows are down in the Mustang. I'm looking at it right now. It's beautiful, glistening in the sunlight. That volume, turn it to max, man. Me and Jesse get in the Mustang. We're about to get out of here. Give me those guitar emojis in the chat. And I'll see you guys live tonight for TakeOver Night 2 on Peacock, live here on OTS. I'll see you guys later.